When it comes to conducting your own research, there's a lot to consider in order to ensure that you're investing your hard-earned money and time into things that are going to yield the best results with the least amount of risk. So let's divide the research into two categories, beginning with NFTs. When purchasing an NFT, how should you DYOR? Whenever you're deciding which NFT to buy, there's a couple of factors that are best to consider. However, before delving into these critical aspects, the first rule should be to find an NFT that you truly enjoy. That way, no matter what happens to the value of your NFT, you won't be disappointed if it falls below what you paid for it. So, here's what you should look for when you're looking for a good NFT with long-term value. These are referred to as 3 C's, by me at least. The contract, the creator, and the community. Give me a second to explain. I know you're desperate and begging, but let's get to it. The first step in your NFT research should be to determine who created the brand. In general, a reputable NFT project would have a doxed creator, or creators, and be completely transparent about the project's intentions. Remember that you're investing in the person behind the NFTs and their ability to execute, not the NFT itself. As a result, it's critical to recognize that the success of any NFT project ultimately depends on its creator and their ability to see it through. Now, I'm well aware that a common misconception is that a project's roadmap could be used to determine whether or not the NFT will be sustainable. But in reality, a roadmap is nothing more than an idea. Anyone can say what they intend to do, but it's the execution of that plan that'll make or break any NFT project. VeeFriends, a project built around meaningful intellectual property by a successful entrepreneur, businessman, and investor, Gary Vaynerchuk, is a really solid example of a good NFT product. Knowing Gary's track record of creating successful brands and businesses, as well as his ability to predict trends far in advance, you can assume that Gary's a pretty reliable person to invest your money in. And if you can't figure out who the human is behind a project, it's best to proceed with caution and again, very heavy consideration for the rest of your NFT research. In general, if the creator of a project is unwilling to reveal their identity, it's likely that that person is not confident in their ability to execute, or has bad intentions, even worse yet. After you've determined who the creator is behind an NFT project, and if you like them, you can move on to exploring their community. When researching the community of an NFT project, make sure to cover all of your bases. Platforms like Twitter, Discord, Instagram, and YouTube are currently places where an NFT community can be found. A good NFT project will typically have an overall positive outlook on the project, and the team, and the future of the brand, all projected by community members. You should always feel free to ask the community any questions you might have, which will not only help your understanding of the project better, but also give you a better understanding of the types of people who are involved in the community. A strong community will gladly answer any questions you might have, or even point you in the right directions to find the answers you do need. Other indicators to look for when researching any NFT projects include how frequently they post on social media, and their interactions with others, their willingness to help others. If a project's feed is only full of free giveaways that require retweets and shares in return, you might want to reconsider why that brand is doing this and what long-term benefits it will provide for them. You might discover that the only advantage is short-term gains and exposure. If you like what you see in both the creator and the community, you can delve even deeper into the project's actual utility and the value that it provides you through the smart contract. It's safe to say that not every NFT you consider purchasing will include a smart contract. If you're purchasing a nice piece of art or a collectible item, you might simply be purchasing the NFT as a collectible, which, again, is perfectly fine if that's what you want. However, many NFTs provide actual utility to collectors, and that utility might come with very specific terms and conditions. If you can't find the terms and conditions attached to the NFT, you should be able to find them on the brand's official website. If you value everything the NFT has to offer you as a collector and have thoroughly covered the 3 C's, then you should be ready to buy your NFT. Scammers in the NFT space are usually very astute, very experienced. Stealing cryptocurrency necessitates a thorough understanding of blockchain technologies and smart contracts. It also necessitates some decent marketing skills. Scammers can make mistakes and inadvertently expose themselves, but you can't, however, count on that happening. Instead, you have to do extensive research to determine whether a project is likely to be sound or a scam. So, who's behind the initiative? Is it a well-known figure in the NFT industry? How long have they been an active member of the community? When were their accounts for the founders created? These details, they say everything about a project. In fact, Mutobi believes that this is the most important aspect of any project's research. He explained, "It all comes down to the artists and developers within NFT projects. Do they have a sense of community? Do they participate in their community? How long have they been making things? You can really tell what their motivation is behind what they want to do by asking these simple questions. And if the team's information isn't verifiable in any way, then bada boom, bada bing, that's your first red flag." Yes, the NFT space encourages anonymity, but even the most anonymous NFT developers and influencers leave a community paper trail, for lack of a better term anyways. A project with anonymous developers isn't always a scam, but you should be able to find more information, or at least some information about the project's leaders. Now, Twitter's a great place to start doing your research. Hopefully the team has an account that's older than a few months. Ideally, the founders follow and have followers in the NFT space, and they tweet on a regular basis, and engage in NFT-related conversations with others, and so on. Furthermore, they should have been doing this for a long time. When a well-known artist announces a new project, it's pretty simple to determine whether or not they're legit or genuine. However, if a PFP project begins to gain traction, how are you going to tell if the lead artist or marketing director is a real person or not? That's a big red flag. According to limited experience in the NFT market, while 80% of NFT purchases might not yield returns, decent returns are generally achieved in 10 to 20% of the collected projects. And if traded at the right price, they could generate ample returns to compensate for the 80% losers. This is due to a variety of factors, including but not limited to market demand, product quality, and a product roadmap. Now, the beauty of the NFT market is that it is reminiscent of the early days of the internet, when emerging tech companies were clambering onto a new industry, brimming with immense passion, innovation, and drive. The NFT market isn't oversaturated, believe it or not. The majority of the world is still, I wouldn't say unaware of its existence, but not as invested as some. And there's plenty of room for improvement and new resources, so it's constantly growing, which, for me personally, makes it pretty exciting. When collecting, it's possible to look for middle-tier projects rather than low and high-tier projects. High-profile projects are usually impossible to get into, with whitelists closed and prices that are just exorbitant. So it appears to be difficult to win on those. In contrast though, lower-end projects, despite being a lot easier to get into, they rarely ever take off or gain traction. I find the sweet spot with projects that are, right in the middle of the road, as they appear to be lower risk, but they still have that higher chance of success. Some digital art collectors base their evaluation of a project on social media figures and Discord numbers, which can very easily be manipulated. We've seen such projects use bots, which, robots or automatic software, to either simulate the presence of more users or add computer-generated users. So, instead of relying on large Discord numbers, go that extra mile with your research. Be aware that Discord is ripe with scammers, so you can't take those high numbers of Discord at face value. Don't respond to direct messages, by the way. Side note, a lot of people have been duped by sophisticated con artists on Discord, and the scams are always getting more and more refined day by day. So anyways, it's a great place to find a project's community and their updates and their roadmap, but be super careful what you click on, and don't interact with anybody unless it's completely trusted, you've talked to them before. Learn basic internet safety. I guess that's basically what I'm trying to drill in here.